We are live. It is NewMutator bringing you the Myth World Cup 2012 with a special guest. Punk User is here. Why don't you say hello, Punk User? Let people know that you're here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me again, and yeah, pleasure to get to cast some games here.
Yeah, sorry if I'm a little redundant saying that every single game, but I just want to make sure half of me wants people to recognize you. The other half of me wants to make sure you're actually still with me, because I don't know. Maybe we get disconnected or something. But it sounds good. We're still here. Excellent. This is game number 5 in the DE3 matchup between the Name Changers and R3. R3 has already lost the match, but they're gonna maybe play for honor, I guess, this game. Kramisi's leading them.
Who did we lose?
I don't know.
Them are.
We lost somebody. Kramisi, Slate, case size 10, and somebody did. I guess it was Mark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess Mark decided that he had enough. So now they're down to 4 players. I'm surprised that. I think maybe they could have actually, if Rat King had stayed, maybe they would have a shot.
Yeah, because he's normally the captain, eh? I wonder.
Yeah, but he had to go to Grandma's birthday party, but also
yeah, maybe Mark had to go join him at that too.
Yeah, Mark was running late for Grandma's party, but also I don't know if you're aware of this, but Muse and Helicopter Monkey Pilot are also on R3, and neither one of which showed up for this match, and I think that hurt them also.
Right, definitely.
And because they're both pretty good, pretty strong players in their own right. On the other hand, Name Changers showing up with a full squad. A flock of seagulls.
Thank God they've changed their color.
Yeah, true that. So now it's a little bit easier to tell them apart. A flock of seagulls is taking the reins. Sam, Suppressive Person, Mr. Rousey, Ska, Captain, Adrenaline, and Limp are in the game, but Limp, I don't think he's played a single game yet. And Adrenaline also sitting this out. But 6 on 4. I don't know if Name Changers are aware of the fact that they're only playing against 4 people or not, because they're fielding 6.
Yeah, probably R3 doesn't care, since this game is just for
That's
kicks
true.
anyways.
That's true, yeah. Interesting. So is this I didn't even really look at the map or the trades or anything.
Yeah, I took a quick glance. A lot of spiders on R3 for some reason, but I guess there's some hills and stuff to go up and down on.
Yeah, and there's some water to put whites in. So it seems like both teams getting whites, a lot of whites in the case of Name Changers. I count maybe 4 or 5 of them. 5 whites altogether for Name Changers, which is quite a lot. That's 15 unit trading points.
Is that deep water though? I guess it is.
It's gotta be. Otherwise, why get whites? They're not gonna work if you try to, land white.
Maybe they're going for the achievements. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Achievements.
I totally forgot about that. There are achievements, that people are attempting to get. Although I guess I can't get into it too much because I don't remember most of what they are.
Yeah, it's too bad. We should be tracking it.
I should be. Well, they are on the forum, and I do link to the forums from the channel page. So if you're on the channel page, all you got to do is click on the forums, or click on the link to the Myth World Cup website, and then you can read about the achievements on the forums there.
Sweet. Those are just for fun, if I recall right.
Yeah, they don't really mean anything. There might be some prize or something at the end, but it's I guess it's just for kind of bragging rights, maybe.
Respect.
Yeah, there you go.
As Myth World Cup itself is these days.
Mitsu Soulblighter respect. That's right.
Yep.
Flag captured.
And so yeah, 15. I was gonna say 5 whites is 3 whites apiece. That's 15 unit trading points, and that's kind of a lot invested in whites, especially when you consider that spiders are worth 1 point apiece. So that's like 15 spiders.
Pretty questionable. I think maybe they're doing it just for comedy value.
Just for the
but
lulls.
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, here goes one. You know, actually, this is R3's white. It's gonna sink in right here. There's a couple of whites for R3 that are already sunk in. And actually, this is territories.
Yeah, right. Yep. As for yeah, I guess on territories you can sort of hide them near flags and run out at the end just to be hilarious. But fetch coming up the mid here. I wonder whether they will do some preventative electrocution of the water before they cross there.
They do tend to do that. I've noticed that people have gotten wise to the fact, you know, at river crossings they're gonna just spam electrocute the water to try to take out any whites.
Yeah, now this is good play. This is good play for people who don't know. They're throwing dud bottles in there because if fetch tries to shoot near a dud bottle, it ignites it. So they'll sometimes kill themselves if they happen to be standing on one and don't notice.
And actually, if you wanted to, Kermisi could attempt to launch those duds even further by igniting them.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit less erratic than I guess Myth the Fallen Lords was, but but it's still pretty random.
Myth the Fallen Lords, when you attack anything with a dwarf, you roll the dice and maybe kill all your own guys. Maybe you'll kill the other guys, you know?
Uh-oh, and Slate.
Oh, there you go. He just
and Sam. Wait, did he? Oh, I didn't see.
He did, yep.
I was watching Slate and Sam. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Did he actually hit anything though?
No, but he got a little distance on it.
Yeah, Slate and Sam
You're right,
kind of had a
Sam's
little.
taking some lightning though. That line of fetch.
Yeah, that line of fetch is pretty intimidating.
You know, it's a double-edged sword when they group up that many fetch, right?
Yeah, because, you know, especially when they're clumped together like this, they're even more vulnerable.
It's hard to approach that, because anything that approaches it will just get fried instantly, right?
That's true, but all it takes is, you know, one well-placed white. You know, they're trying to cross the river or something, and a white can take them all out, because fetch they're pretty vulnerable to just about everything.
Captured.
They deal a lot of damage, but they, you know, they're fragile.
Oh, that was painful. In the mid there, just lost 2 dwarfs to Mr. Rousey's fetch.
I did catch the tail end of that, yeah. So name changers are up 89 to 86% at this point. It seems like they do control the south and the mid, and it looks like they just tagged the flag in the west with their Solus there. So they are going to be up in flags at this point as well.
So these are dwarven heroes, which makes them a little less useless versus fetch, but still, I would say they're at a disadvantage. Definitely.
But we saw Slate and Sam kind of duking it out, and it looked like Sam was going to get lucky there, but luckily for Slate, he was able to push Sam away. You know, because it looked like Slate had the fetch, and he was attempting to detonate those bottles in midair, but it looked like one of them was going to get dangerously close to his fetch and maybe take out 2 or 3 of them. But lucky for R3, that didn't happen, and so they're not behind like they are today. But I see some movement underwater here in the east. I don't know if you catch this.
Yep. Whites from both teams here coming through.
Yeah.
He's got that.
Although it seems like
that
he knows he's
heron
there.
Sitting there, though, he's ready to heal it if
it's
it
true.
pops up.
Yeah, it's a heron guard hero. So he's got nine lives, as they say. Well, more like 10, right? Because
Yep.
he can heal himself 9 times.
Yeah, they attack a little bit faster, if I recall, and they have a little bit more HP, which is actually what makes them not flinch when they get hit by sort of standard units. Yep.
So it's the HP increase that does that.
Yeah, because I think it's something like you need a single hit if it does a quarter or more of a unit's HP. I'll have to check that number, but it's something like that. Then there's a chance to flinch.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's what makes him invaluable in a melee.
Yeah. That's why you know Trow. Oh, ow! Did you see that on the right?
5 minutes remaining.
I
Nice bottle there.
just caught
Too
the
late
tail
in
end of
detonating
it.
Yeah, he was too late in detonating it. Killed himself. Yeah.
Oh man, who was that?
I
Suppressive
think
person.
it was Suppressive Person.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's alright. He's been MVP in a lot of games, so we'll give him this one.
Yeah, Suppressive Person, not very impressive this game, but actually doing a lot of damage with that shot there on 10.
Oh, it did happen again!
Oh yeah, you're right. Wow, he lost both fetch in the same manner. See, that's what I thought was going to happen to Slate, but somehow he didn't succumb to that.
Yeah, yeah. The dwarves are balancing that fetch advantage with the hill, with the height there, pretty well.
And actually, Ska is, even though he's playing a minor role in this engagement, he's actually doing pretty well with these Solus.
Definitely.
4 kills between them.
Yeah, they're really good for harassing.
Flag captured.
Looks like they're gonna lose this one though, especially if he runs his dwarf directly at the enemies.
So are you talking, yeah, Suppressive Person, I think he's going to lose that Dwarf, and he does.
Yeah.
But Name Changers, I think, are going to come out on top in that engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And they are up in percentages, but only by a little bit.
It's true.
Actually, not much has really changed. They're still at 3-point spread. Oh, and now it's more like 4 points, because a couple of spiders were destroyed in the west by Sam.
Flag captured.
Yeah, R3's got, I guess, the majority of their forces mid there still, so...
Yeah, they do have a couple of fetch remaining.
They've actually kept those spiders alive for a lot longer than usually they live with fetch on the map, but they can turn out to be really handy at the end of the map for running around and grabbing flags, so...
Yeah, so they're good in the end game, but not so much in the early to mid game.
Yeah, I mean, they can, like, if you got enough of them, they can, like, mob some flag defense or whatever, but...
But that's
again,
a temptation, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can also lose, like, 12 unit trading points to 1 fetch bolt, too, so gotta be careful.
And I actually saw that earlier. I casted the Age Deer match,
Oh, yeah.
and Age took something like 25 spiders and lost all of them within, like, the first minute or two.
First, fair enough.
But that's a temptation, with spiders.
Yep.
You want to just mob something and do some damage early on, but
Mm-hmm.
if you do that, you're probably going to lose them all. And they're most effective in the end game, and also doing harassment, but not really getting lost. I would say, like, not really.
Yep.
Flag.
Basically,
Looks
on the periphery is where you want them to be.
Captured.
Looks like Kremisi wasn't paying attention and lost a dwarf crossing the river to some Solus just south of mid there, so...
Yeah, I think it was he was probably preoccupied with the south flag because flock of seagulls managed to sneak a spider in there and contest it, and he went to look at that.
Well played distraction then.
Yeah, and that's actually a major part of the game.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're up in numbers. I at least always try to, one good way to take advantage of numbers is to spread out your forces so that you have more, separate sets of units. I mean, sometimes you just have the advantage in micro or whatever, but if you have more mobility than the other people can micro, they'll start making mistakes, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to take advantage of a team with fewer players when you have more players than they do. You just have more perspectives, just more attention going into the game. So
yep, this mid is interesting. Those Solus turning out to be more relevant than I thought they were going to be.
More relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were going to be mostly useless, but that hill there is pretty good.
Flag.
Yeah, actually, Ten's doing a pretty good job, but he lost one fetch there to those Solus. Ska doing quite a bit of damage. That is a hero Solus if I've ever seen one. It's got 6 kills.
Yeah, very nice. Although they max out at 5, for anyone who's curious.
Yeah, a little bit of interesting pathfinding for Ten's
Contested.
Heron Hero there. He got stuck on the grave.
Flag contested.
Yep.
For a second.
Yeah, so a normal Heron would get flinched by Solus hits, but because of their extra health,
Ah.
these guys are fine.
Captured.
Oh, too late on the heal.
Oh, yeah.
Flag.
He ends up losing it. So it's a flag grab at this point. But with 10% remaining, R3 just doesn't have enough, I think.
Units, yeah.
Flag.
He's gonna lose his spiders on the bottom here, so
Yeah, they
it's only a
lost-
matter of time.
They lost the flag in the northwest.
They're gonna lose everything.
Yeah.
Flag captured.
Actually, yeah, they do. They end up losing everything. They try to tag northeast with a white, interestingly enough, but it doesn't get there in time. So yeah, the game 5 is going to go to the Name Changers. They did win the match 4-1. R3, they came out the gate swinging. I mean, they won the first game of the match.
Yeah, I think they really could have won the second game too if they weren't a little bit more patient, but
Yeah, and maybe even the third game as well.
yeah, it's true.
But if they had won the first 3 games, they would have won the match. But
Definitely.
but the last 2 games, you know, beginning with Adrenaline's, I don't know, is it? How would you describe that move he did with the satchels raining down?
I don't know. I think that was pure uniqueness there. So I won't attempt to liken it to anything else.
Yeah, that was pretty. I don't know. I think maybe that kind of sapped the will to win from R3. I mean, they did a pretty good. They didn't collapse instantaneously like you know, a lesser team might have done, even though they were outnumbered in games 4 and 5. In game 5 they only had 4 players, but they still put up a pretty good fight. You know, for much of the game they were neck and neck with the Name Changers. But
yeah, it's hard to say too how much effect like the losses have sort of morale-wise early on. You know, if they had taken one more game, maybe they would have played that much harder in the next ones type thing.
yeah, it is hard to quantify, I do agree. But, you know, I imagine in my mind, you know, maybe there's a psychological element to it, but I'm probably completely
Definitely.
wrong about it.
No, I mean, when something like that gets pulled off, it is demoralizing.
So 10 actually manages quite a bit of damage, 142, which is quite a bit. I think that's the most in the game for any single player. And so that's not bad for being on the losing team, getting that much. But then again, you know, they only had 4 players, so you know, that's 2 less players competing for damage on your team. As Name Changers did field 6, so Captain getting damage for. So yeah, I don't know who is gonna get MVP of this match. I'm gonna have to put some thought into it. What are your thoughts? Have you been following? In terms of any of these
I don't
players?
know. I wasn't really thinking about it this match.
Well,
yeah.
you know, no pressure or
Dunno.
anything. I don't want to make you say something that, you know, put your. foot in
You
your
know what?
mouth.
Who had the Solus at the end? I liked those. Those Solus were
I think
fun.
Scott had the Solus, and he actually did pretty well with them.
All right,
you
let's
know.
give it to Scott.
All right, Scott wins MVP for this game. But what about for the match, though? Have you been like?
You know, Suppressive Person, we mentioned a couple times, has come up in a few of these games with some strong play. So I'm inclined to say to give it to him or her.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to have to review some of that because you know, that's something that I've been doing is kind of announcing like an MVP of the match, and it's in some matches it's more difficult than other matches I've found.
Yeah.
Because you know, some matches there's definitely like an outstanding individual that you can definitely pin it on, no problem. And then other matches, you know, somebody might play really well 2 games, and then play crappy 2 games, you know, and actually kind of lose it for their team those 2 games, but they win it for their team in the other 2 games. So it's a little bit hard to balance all those things to choose an MVP. So I think I'm gonna still do it, but it is pretty difficult to do and somewhat arbitrary. I found, you know, to choose an MVP. But I don't know. What do you think?
That's right. That's what makes it fun. You know, you gotta
go.
provide fodder for raging on the Myth World Cup forums, or else they just argue about the same things over and over again. You know.
Right. That's the whole point. I'm trying to foster drama by casting these, but
yeah, because the Myth World community is all about the drama.
That's true. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I think it would be fun to do this again sometime. We'll see.
Yeah, sounds good. Seems if we do it late enough at night, my internet is at least decent.
Nice. Yeah. So we'll keep that in mind. I think there's definitely potential to do more matches like this. We'll see how people react to these games when I put them up. But we'll see. Maybe we can continue with this. But,
yeah, sounds good. Maybe you can inspire some other some people. It'd be cool to maybe get one of the players that played in a game to come on and cast with you as well.
Nice. Yeah. Well, as always, leave me leave some comments, shoot me a message if you like, and we'll see what we can do. But thanks again, Punk User, for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And to all you other folk who are watching, Vantobia gave me the unofficial sign-off, I guess, Trover and out. I don't know. What do you think of that?
Trover. I guess if you pronounce it that way, then.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. What?
Fair enough.
Do you have any suggestions as to something I could sign off with?
That's a good question. I have to give it some thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same. Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you've been enjoying these films, and I know we've been, at least I have been enjoying bringing them to you. But until next time.
Yep. Thanks to all the players too. Always a pleasure to watch the games.